All right, it is July the 10th. My name is Keith Hooper. Glad to have you joining us here on this very special Aliabo call. Today we have some very special guests with us. We have Gordon Morton along with Ashley Brown. We'll be getting to them in just a couple of minutes as we're welcoming people to the call. Glad to have you guys with us with that. But, you know, we've got a very special event coming up in Fresno that'll be starting here, and a number of us are working together to make this event happen. And so I've got some key people, and I want just some thoughts from some of them as we're getting started on how they're going to use this event to be able to help people with Aliabo and to be able to help build their business at that, just do that. And I want to start off with my good friend Debbie Anderson, Debbie and Walter out of the Tracy area. And I know, Debbie, you and Walter are looking forward to using this upcoming event to build your business here with Aliabo. How are you today?
We are great. Yes, we are. We're looking forward to it. We're looking forward to the event. We're looking forward to meeting Gordon and Ashley. And all I want to say is this is a wonderful company. I thank them for bringing this company together, and the products are unbelievable. You can't ask for anything better. You can't ask for a better system. You can't ask for a better payment plan. You can't ask for a better customer service. You can't ask for anything better. Any of you that have been in multi-level or network marketing before, you know how it can be a total hassle and nerve-wracking, but this business is not that way. It is totally different. The products, you can't ask for anything better. Anybody that wants to argue with you, they will lose. But
Debbie, the beautiful part of it is the product sells itself. All we've got to do is sell them that first, get them to use that flex very first to get started, and then it'll work, and it'll open their mind to why they need the rest of our products, right?
Exactly. You start with a flex. It doesn't even matter. I mean, some people have pain that they've had forever, and they just live with it and don't even realize it's there anymore. And once they use the flex, and maybe it doesn't work the very first 5 minutes, but I'll tell you what, as they use it, we speak for knowing this ourselves, as you use it on that pain dissipates.
Absolutely.
Where you used to have to use it maybe every day or twice a day, it will come to a point where you're using it 3 times a day. Not 3 times a day, 3 times a week. You know, where I don't know what's going on. I don't know all the particulars. All I know, it works.
Absolutely.
And,
well, thank you, Debbie. Thank you with that. I thank you for this. Once again, the product to sell itself after we sell them that first get them on that flex. Matthew, I know you're having great results as well, and going to use the event upcoming in Fresno.
Absolutely. I just want to second everything that Debbie just said, and, you know, just to kind of get that right out front there. You know, I just can't say how important and how amazing this is to have a company like this that, look, they're flying in. You guys are flying in. You're putting on an event you're not charging anything for this event, which is the right thing. I mean, it's just amazing how you guys are doing business. I'm so thankful. And, you know, the way I'm just encouraging the people that I have in my group and my team, just, you know, take advantage of this time. Because, you know, these times, they just don't come along very often. And so you have to seize the moment. And I just am encouraging everybody to do that. And I just want to say to both Ashley and Gordon, you know, and still understand this, but molte gratitudine e entrambe.
Va bene, wow.
And appreciate it very much. And so we're looking forward to meeting you both, and, you know, me and my team, and just totally grateful.
All right. Thank you, Matthew. Hey, Dennis, how are you going to be using this upcoming event in Fresno?
Well, I believe I have 5 couples right now, and I'm probably going to have another 4 or 5 by then. So hopefully there's a lot of room there. It's going to be good to see Gordon and Ashley. You guys, it's going to be great. That's another story for another time, but you know the story. I met you, Gordon, in 2006 in Utah, and I actually developed a bit of a friendship with Joe back then, and it was good to see him recently. And I love what you guys are doing.
At the office or at an event?
I saw your beautiful office there, and I was there for an event that was about 3 days long, and I think it was Junelle, I think, was our tour guide at that time. And my sister and I, Patty and I, were there, and I got to visit with Joe quite a bit there, and this beautiful lady came up and visited with us for a while, and when she left, I said, "Joe, who is that beautiful lady?" He said, "That beautiful lady is my wife, and I'm the luckiest guy in the world."
He married so up. He's married up. Yeah.
Well,
Hey, I want to tell. Oh,
go ahead, Dennis.
Okay, just this is for people to encourage them. Anybody on the call, don't give the nose any consideration. Look at what you have, the wonderful company and the wonderful guys you have and lady you have to work with here. Be really proud of this, and don't ever let a no bother you. You just keep moving forward. It's a real quick story from a lady that wrote a book. I like her very much. She said, "Just remember, you're like the guy serving coffee in the restaurant. Your job is to serve coffee. And someone says yes, someone says no, yes. A couple of people say no. Do you go home and binge on a half a pound of bonbons? I don't think so. Your job is just to serve the coffee. That's your job, okay? It doesn't matter who says no. You're looking for the guys that say yes, and you pour the coffee. So we're just looking for the guys and the girls that say yes. That's all. And nothing else really matters because we're helping people."
Thanks, Dennis. Appreciate that. Speaking of people that people say yes to, is my friend Janice Miller out of Las Vegas. Janice, how are you today, and how are you going to use the Fresno event to move your business?
Well, first of all, amazing day. Every day that I'm this side up is amazing. Products make me feel amazing, and I'm very grateful for it. I'm using the biohack. I'm using the olive oil on my food. And, of course, the Prima was the first product we received and felt mental clearness, extra mental clearness, because I already had a product that was making me feel extra sharp, but this is different. It's a different energy. I love it. I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful to build a team. And I started out really strong, and I'm going to continue and hopefully get to that trip to Italy. So as far as that, then I'll just be sharing, because I live in Las Vegas. And, yes, I am Italian, but I don't speak too much. I just speak those chosen words of Italian. So with that said, I'm going to share this next adventure for Fresno, and hopefully a lot of people I know will attend.
Wonderful, Janice. Thank you for that. Well, we're going to go to Joe Schufar, and then we have one more person. So, Joe, how are you going to be using Fresno to build your business?
Well, good day, everybody. And Keith usually calls me Joe the Arm, and I haven't met Gordon or Ashley in person, but we've met on the phone, I believe. Anyway, I've got a message of urgent action required. So listen closely, bear with me, and think about what I'm saying. There's quite a bit of noise out there.
Go ahead.
Did you all know that a while back we were given 1,000 acres of prime land? Well, we decided to plant these Coratina olive trees, and we started out with just 3 trees. We found out that with the right care, 3 trees though, and we found out with the right care they were worth $5 million apiece. Naturally, we thought, okay, let's plant thousands more. But then the questions started rolling in. How do we plant them? How do we take care of them? How much fertilizer do we use? How much water? Do we trim them, or do we just let them grow? And if we do this, can we actually make money? All we really need is a few olive grower experts and a lot of employees, right? Okay, wait a minute. Let's step back into reality now, okay? Now that you've listened to what I said, does that scenario sound familiar to you? Because that's exactly what Keith talks about on his daily calls. How to build a business. Starting with just 3 people and watching it grow. At the same time, you're helping to make America healthy again. In reality, though, we aren't planting trees. We're cultivating the talent and the leaders. We have leaders on this call, and this is so important. Leaders that are helping people and have been helping people to help themselves to business success for several decades. Decades. That's the experience that's on this call. And those exact leaders are going to be in Fresno. They're going to be there showing up to hand us a proven plan for success. But we have to be willing to sit in those seats. We have to be willing to listen. The absolute best of the best in the network marketing industry, or should I say the relationship marketing industry, because that's what we do. We're relationships all the time. That's what builds a business. They're traveling on their own dime, folks. If you were to buy a ticket to a public seminar or to hear or see the kind of talent that you're gonna see, it costs you $500 for a ticket just for the day. But guess what? All you get to do is you get to show up, take notes, and you get to learn for free. Can you believe that? Learn for free. Anyway, there's no finer talent than Gordon, Ashley, and Keith. They're donating their valuable time to us to show a path of success, and all we have to do is grab it. Because for some of us, the train is getting ready to pull out of the station. And right now, we're just standing on the platform. Years ago, I ran security for a client and his family who were extremely successful in the network marketing industry, in the business. Over time, we became great friends. We shared a lot of laughs and things, but I also learned a ton about business. And I haven't really stole anything in my life, but I stole 2 idioms. I guess it's called an idiom. That's what it's called, an idiom. And I sold 2 of those things from him. But I learned that if you use an idiom more than 3 times, it becomes your own. So I'm going to leave you with this, with one of my favorites. You can't water the roses or the olive trees if you're standing on the hose. Anyway, you all need to be in Fresno on the 15th. And that's all.
Thanks, Joe. Really appreciate that. Yeah, you can't water your garden if you're standing on the hose. Can't water your business. Hernan Lawless, real quick, why does everybody need to be in Fresno?
You guys, you all need to be there. Let me tell you something. Robin and I have been out in the desert with no water and no food and no salted popcorn. It's been a horrible. It's been over a decade. It's been horrible in our industry. It's not been good at all. And the whole time we were praying that one day we would be able to work with Gordon again. And finally I called Ray to find out what was going on, and next thing you know, we're visiting with Gordon and Ashley at the home office. You guys have no idea what you're in for here. We've done it before with Gordon, where your product becomes a household name worldwide. We've done it, and we're doing it again. We're doing it with Aliabo. And those of you that are involved right now, those of you that are going to get to meet Gordon and Ashley, you'll look back on that day You'll look back on that day, and you'll be thanking yourself that you made the decision to go, because this is going to be huge. This is something that everybody will talk about. You could go into, maybe you go into 10 kitchens and you'll see Ali Abo 2 or 3 times in 10 kitchens. This is a worldwide thing, guys. We're gonna raise the awareness gap with the masses, and you're a part of it at the very beginning, and you have an opportunity to meet the man that had the vision to begin the whole thing. Be there. You need to be there.
Thanks, Hernan. Really appreciate you doing that. So once again, this is our Friday special call. We have our special guests, Gordon, Morton, and Ashley Brown. And there's a idiom in business, which is that you're never any better than the people you're in business with. So it's a unique opportunity to be in business with people like Gordon and his brother Joe and Curtis and Ashley and all the team that he has there. So Gordon and Ashley, welcome to our Friday Power Call. How are you today?
Very well.
Hey.
Keith, you're very
Great.
kind, Keith. Thank you.
Well,
By the way, I think I introduced myself as Richard Gere. I hope that the whole group didn't hear that. I was doing that for your amusement, but I realized the name of my whole group.
My amusement. Look, Gordon and I have never met personally, one on face-to-face, so a couple of Zoom calls, but I can tell you he's somebody you want to know, because once again, in business, this is so important. And I think oftentimes people overlook this when they look at business opportunities, Gordon, and as well with you, Ashley, is who you are in business with is more important than what your business is about. Who you're in business with is the most important thing you can be, because success leaves clues, and both you, Gordon, and Ashley as well, you have left a trail of success. Success follows you wherever you go. So, Gordon, we're excited about where we're going and about having you coming to Fresno. And you shared something interesting to me the other day when we were talking about why Fresno holds a very special place in your heart with your business history. Welcome to the call.
Absolutely. And Keith, thank you. By the way, it's an honor to be introduced by Keith. I realized the other day I was dropping Keith sound bites for the rest of the day. Ashley is my witness. I dropped 13 sound bites because I was like, that was a funny way of putting it. Like, you were talking about losing the right to give you input or something, and I was like, I used that. I gave you credit, though, brother. I used your quote. I appreciate this and the ability to talk to your wonderful group here on Friday. Let me just edify my compadre, Ashley, somewhere in the building here in the same office. I think we work together, Ashley. We high-five each other in the hall.
I'll see you in a minute.
She's, you folks, this is one of the brightest young talents I could ever hope to have on my team. And ladies on the call, I promise you this, you will not be disappointed. Ashley is, I think, one of the greatest kept secrets in this industry. It isn't really a secret anymore, but there's very few people that bounce stuff off of to make sure that it's right, but she's got this ability to tell me if I've missed my mark as far as the message goes, as far as making sure that the right message is crafted, the right imaging is out there. So I really appreciate her. But I was going to say this. Fresno does hold a sweet spot for me. It absolutely does. Hernan, it was the first time I met you in real life, brother. It was, I think it was a Holiday Inn, Hernan, correct me if I'm wrong, but there was a gentleman that I learned Keith Hooper knew quite well named Bob Schmidt. He was one of the brightest minds in our industry, and he and I met that night. Hernan, I think, was the host of the meeting, and it was a Holiday Inn, and it was the first time I saw a brand name that I had created, a 5-letter brand name that ended up being used quite a bit in our industry, and it was on the marquee. I drove up, and on the marquee for that Holiday, I think it was a Holiday Inn, it said XANGO. That was the name of the company that I got the credit for naming, and it was on a marquee, and I thought, oh my goodness. At that point, we were about a year old, maybe, Hernan, you can correct me if I'm wrong, and for me, Fresno has always held a warm spot in my heart, and man, Hernan, you had some of those meetings just humming. You and, Keith, we must have crossed paths at some point in our life. We know it's a lot of the same people. But I will say this about functions, and Keith knows this, and Hernan knows this, and many of you on the line. By the way, Joe, what you were talking about cultivating talent, that was a beautiful riff, brother. It was very profound. I appreciate all your comments, Dennis and Janice. Nicely done today. Leaders are made at functions. Leaders are made at functions. And the mentor that I had used to teach me, at the time, we would say tapes. Okay, that's just recordings. Tapes, books, functions. Tapes, books, functions. Readers are leaders. We talk about it a lot. If anybody asks you what you're reading, you should have an answer. People's TikTok posts don't count, the subtitles. Leaders are readers, and leaders are made at functions. I'll tell you what, there are going to be people walking in that meeting room in Fresno, and they're going to walk out different. They're going to look at the world different. They're going to look at this olive oil market very differently. Then there's very little leadership in the world anymore being taught. It used to be taught in our schools. It used to be taught in our communities, and unfortunately, that was a casualty a lot to do with things like COVID and whatnot. But on the line here, I can listen to, I'm getting giddy. It's a Friday, and it was like a caffeine bump that I just got listening to all y'all talk. I dig it. I take notes when I'm on a call like this. Leaders leave clues, or success leaves clues. I will say this about Fresno. We have a time, we have a place, we have a date. I think it's a Marriott property. The date is August 15th. The time is somewhere around 10:30. I'm not looking.
10:30.
10:30.
Yep.
Thank you, Ashley. Here's the thing. All of those are very, very, very important facts. Very important facts. We want to make sure that people find the place. They see the Marriott. They don't end up at the Holiday Inn. And but the most important thing is the why. Those are the where. The thing is the why to be there. I promise you this. Even Keith, if I do this, my job right, if Ashley does her job right, he's going to walk out and say, I just learned something new. By the way, you knew Bob Schmidt. He was one of the most quotable guys. No wonder you're so quotable, Keith. You knew him. I would write stuff down almost every time I would watch Bob present, because he dropped ways of communicating that expanded my mind. If you all on this call could feel the way I feel about the car I drive, you'd want to drive my car. If you felt the way I feel about my wife, you'd probably want to marry my wife. Well, like maybe a different age or whatever, you know. But if you felt the way I feel about extra virgin olive oil and our Prima product, and the way I feel about this business, you need to be in a different zip code if you're not in this thing, because anybody I get around, there's a transfer of an emotion that happens just because I really believe it. In my DNA, it's right there. Belief and passion, the two things that Italians are big on. Belief starts mentally, passion gets in your heart. If you appeal to somebody's brain, and if you can satisfy their brain, you can touch their heart. And I'll tell you, our product has the ability to do both. First of all, it's pragmatic in that it has all the boxes checked as far as if you put it in your mouth, swallow Prima pills, capsules every day with water, magically you're going to get a spring in your step, and you're going to find the cobwebs clear mentally. I can't remember if it was Janice who talked about mental acuity, but it's absolutely true. I am not as young as I once was. If you see pictures of me with my gray beard, I'm getting a little long in the tooth. I'll save you the guessing. I'm 59 years of age. I've been told I should have rolled over and played dead several years ago. If you're reading modern media, if you watch CNN, I'm no good to society. I'm an old white guy. That's not really a popular thing anymore. I'm telling you what, I'm sharp as I've ever been. I really mean it. I'm not just saying that. I'm not blowing smoke up my own skirt. There's something about this olive oil that we are onto that the world doesn't know yet, but they sure will. And Hernan, when you I think it was Hernan that said it, or maybe it was I was writing it down. Oleavo will be a worldwide brand. It will. It will. With the white-hot intensity of 1,000 suns, I already know it. I can see the future in my brain, and it is bright. And by the way, skincare, topically, transdermally, that's Ashley's jam. She is an organic skincare formulator. I sometimes say specialist, which is true, but your actual degree is in formulation, right? So
That's right.
I wanted to make sure I get that right. And Ashley, by the way, she's a lot more pleasant to hear talk and present on skincare than me. But my family, my wife just brought me some food, and she was more excited to see Ashley in the hallway than like to see me. She's like, my family's super fans of Ashley. But Ashley, do you want to tease a little bit about maybe a couple things you drop on that group?
Just, if I could, Gordon, before we go to Ashley here. So want to bring back just a little thing. You know, when you look at the direct selling network marketing affiliate program, one of the things that attracted me to Aliabo is that the majority of the companies that are out there were marketing plans and marketing materials and all the stuff that was there, and then they went looking for something to sell. That's not what happened here. That's not what happened here. It was the other way around. It was you saw that awareness gap. You saw the uniqueness of what we have here with what is now Aliabo and this nutraceutical, you know, Aliabo, the nutraceutical company based on olive-derived products. And there need to be a way to get it out and a way to reward people. That's very unique in this industry, Gordon.
Yes, sir. Keith, this is an amazing point. And unfortunately, that is something that hasn't been happening in recent years. A lot of times, you'll see a company starts and they'll say, was that an opportunity first company or is it a product first company? I do not live in the former. I am a product company. I love to market within. We are more omnichannel than anything right now. This new hybrid that we have of affiliate and direct sales. You're right, Keith. We had the product and it was a choice. What channel do we put it in? You can go retail. But olive oil has been retail. It didn't get promoted properly. You can't go to a grocery store and expect a minimum wage teenager who doesn't comb his hair properly to know enough to teach you about a good quality extra virgin olive oil. You need an army of passionate nutraceutical superheroes like yourselves on the line to talk about big words like verbascicide, oleocanthols, and be able to pronounce polyphenolic. And this is the space, folks. This is what the timing is. It's never happened before, and it ain't never happening again. We're in the right place. Keith, thank you for that. Is that what you were going at? Because we're a product first company, absolutely.
Well, because you weren't looking for something to do in this space. You weren't out there actively seeking your next business opportunity. You and Curtis and Joe and Ashley came together synergistically around and experiences that all of you had independent of each other, right?
Absolutely. It's the craziest moment. I'd call it a moment of epiphany that happened, and it was something that I observed in the process of olive oil being made in Italy. And I remember bouncing it off of Joe. He's like, because Joe's always doing something, and he was in between things. I called him this. And I said, what about this? And he goes, Big Brother. He always does that. If he's about to say something profound, if I've said something profound, he goes, Big Brother. How is this possible? That this is? I said, I don't know, Joe. What do you think? And he got excited. I turned to Ashley. I think you were in the moment when I talked to Joe, Ashley, and I said, and she comes back. I think she went out and started Googling things. Comes back. She's like, you have no earthly idea the transdermal benefits of this thing. She started losing her mind. And that doesn't always, Joe and Ashley don't get excited about the same things. I don't know if you've known this. Sometimes they do. But Joe gets excited about Ironman and triathlons and adventure sports, and Ashley, not so much. I don't know. Maybe, Ashley, I don't know about if you're a triathlete, but not as excited. And they were both nerding out. Curtis got into the discussion. Curtis is an affiliate. His expertise was in affiliate marketing. And he's like, oh, my gosh, this is like a dream. This needs to go in affiliate channels. And Joe and I said, this needs to go in direct sales channels. And the conversation turned into, this can be both. Both answers can be correct at the same time. This can be omni-channel. At the same time, it can be simply a consumer product that anybody now, especially with the new studio app, if you like what you're hearing, you can go, place an order. You're done and checked out in under a minute. It's an e-commerce solution. There's a trail commission that will follow whoever buzzed you about sending you to the website. And maybe you're like, that's all I want. I just want a good olive oil or an olive-derived product, and that's where my relationship can end with the company. We're fine, because every one of you on the call, people like yourselves, will get the benefit for those dialogues. So, yeah, this is the result, Keith, of spitballing out loud, talking out loud about a big, hairy, audacious idea. And when four minds all looked at each other and said, this has legs, that's when we all started getting excited. I think everything else kind of went into slow-mo after that. What do you think, Ashley? Like, you and I were working in a media company together. We made 3 independent movies, and then there was that moment where we were going to think about the 4th one, and then SAG went on strike, and then the Writers Guild went on strike. I'm like, I'm done with freaking strikes. And, man, people say there's drama in our industry. Man, you should look at entertainment. That's crazy. But, yeah, that's where it happened, Keith. It's exactly the way that, thankfully, people know a little bit about how the story happened. Hernan came in. Hernan was like, I'll come in and look at your thing, and if it sucks, then I'm going to go have In-N-Out Burger, because they don't have one in Idaho currently. And I learned, he told me after, he's like, if it was going to be a dud, at least we said, Rob and I said, well, we'll get In-N-Out. Okay. I hopefully beat In-N-Out as far as the most exciting thing that happened that day, Hernan. So that's how it happened, folks.
Well, you know, Gordon, so when people are getting a little flavor of this, so Gordon did not realize what I'm about to tell you. I haven't mentioned ahead of time. When we come to Fresno, when he and Ashley show up in Fresno, we're going to be interviewing him. I'm going to be asking him the questions that you guys want to ask him, the history, how they came about. We can go all the way back to where, Gordon, you were working in a restaurant in Montreal, and you know, and the events that happened there. These are the things we're going to come back, and we're going to revisit all that. But see, if you're not in Fresno, you're not going to get that. You're not going to get that. You need to be there. You need to be there in Fresno with that. So, Gordon, I'll let you wrap up with that, and then we'll get over to the smarter, better looking part of the Aliabo company.
Absolutely. And you're right. Yes, on all fronts, you're right on that one, Keith. And it was the serendipity that ended up to this. I was raised with the Herbal Gerbil family, and interestingly, I'm the 2nd generation of Herbal Gerbil. My parents created the monster that is me, and but I was raised with Mom at the health store, and Dad he started the Canadian division of Nature Sunshine products in our basement. So I learned a lot about supplements, and the epiphany that happened here was a combination of those things. And there's somebody in Oleabo here. His name's he spends a lot of time in California, but David Itkow, he had signed up in Nature Sunshine by my dad. Went to a meeting. He went to a meeting in Montreal, Keith. The two stories are, and they're combined. By the way, they all work. But my dad met that guy in Montreal doing a meeting like we're about to do in Fresno, and that guy got ignited, found the right person to link arms with, and build a massive business. And then flash forward to now, I'm a younger, less sophisticated version of my dad, but had the same name, Gordon. And that gentleman was in our office recently, and so that's how that coincided. I ended up waiting a table for my dad and a guy named Dwayne Dyer when I was still in college, and I met him, and I've been in business with him on and off almost my entire post-college career. He hired me out of college. That's the type of thing that you want to do. You want to build a business with the people you want to be around. You get that choice. You get the dignity of choice. If you get to pick the people that are in your inner circle, that's a blessing that not many of us get to experience. All of us have been like in one of those JOBs where we're like, we're hanging around with people that are like, look like they've been weaned on a pickle, and they're just sour, and they're blah, and like the lights dim when they walk in a room, and I'm like, life's too short. I'm telling you what, folks, this is I'm obsessed about this. And I'm obsessed about our business off. And hopefully some of that passion will transfer when we're in Fresno. And by the way, Keith, bring it. You're going to be Alex Trebek, like game show host, and ask me questions. Bring it, brother. See if you can stump me. It'll be like this.
All right.
So
Now,
you
you
guys
heard him.
him.
Well, wait a minute. You guys heard him, so he gave me permission. So you're going to want to be there in Fresno, because some of the people on the call also know, Gordon, that I own a porcupine suit. So I'm going to have it refilled and be ready, baby. So it's an amazing opportunity to be here. But Gordon has done what we're doing. He shared business opportunities, shared with friends and neighbors. And one of the people that he shared it with is our friend Ashley Brown. And some of you have met Ashley on the call before. Some of you got the chance to meet her in Sacramento. Some of you are all of you have the opportunity to meet her in Fresno when we're coming up here. But, Gordon, talk about the right person for the right job. That's where you seem to be masterful. One of the areas, many, many things you're masterful at. But you put the right people in the right job, whether it's Adam, it's like I share with everybody, Apple has Siri and Amazon has Amazon, whatever it is, and you guys have Adam. Alexa. They have Alexis, you guys have Adam. You got the right people in the right job, whether it's Kent in the job that he has, and the board of people that you surrounded yourself with. But one of those key people for us in the field is this incredible lady known as Ashley. Ashley, how are you today, my dear?
Hi, Keith. Good. How are you? How am I supposed to actually follow that? Gordon's like fireball today. I don't even know.
Oh, fear not, my dear. I got my own list of questions for you. Okay, we're good. Okay, so I know you were not. I didn't. No. So the question is how did Gordon talk you into following him to Aliabo? What was the sales pitch? Because all of us have to go out and talk to our friends, our family, and share the Aliabo opportunity and talk about why they want to become affiliated with this. How did Gordon prospect you and get you to join on the dotted line to become part of the Aliabo family there in Murray, Utah?
That is a great question, but there is one single word that he said that I was like, what? Yes, what? It is Italy. I am obsessed with Italy. I am obsessed with everything clean and pure and everything from their food, how they live, their lifestyle. And when he said, I want to go into the Italian olive oil, I was like, done. Well, okay, we've got this. The world has been waiting for this. It is such a niche thing that they have over there even, that their lifestyle, the way that they eat this olive oil too, I'm like, we need this in America. We need this in Canada. We need this throughout the world. I feel like they've been gatekeeping this secret for so long. We need to spread it. So yeah, Italy. That's the word. One word.
Okay, so yeah. Ashley, so he brings you here. Now, I'm not sure that he understood. I'm assuming that he understood what a incredible gatekeeper you are on quality. That the products have to meet the quality standards that are here. So, I mean, this is the area of expertise that you say, so when I walk into the Safeway or the Costco or the whatever, and now I look at the olive oils, I go, those things should have skull and crossbones on them, according to Ashley.
I don't know if gatekeeper or stickler is the right word, but oh my gosh, I realize that I get a little aggressive about it too, where my family is terrified to now open their cupboard around me. Everything's locked, and oh man, I just want people to feel their best and to not, what we're taught is we should start drinking olive oil. We should start eating with it. We should start cooking with it. But what they're not telling you is how bad the wrong kind of olive oil can be, and it is so disappointing. So we hope that everyone here can help spread that message of, you guys, yes, use olive oil, but you need to be using the right kind of olive oil, because the other one is as harmful as canola oil, as the seed oils, and everything else. So yeah, I'm stickler is
unmercifully. I love it. That's what we need. That's what we want her to be. So when you guys come to Fresno, we're gonna be interviewing Ashley into some of these details. So Ashley, we're real excited about the results that people are getting on what we're lovingly referring to as the Aliabo biohack, which is using the olive oil and the Prima as well as the Flex and the Visa Lux as the part of that biohack. But I know you're not surprised by the results that we're getting because the science says we should be getting those results, correct?
Oh my gosh, that's another reason why I think this is all happening right now is because of the science. Because everything was all like mythological and, oh, this is what they did in the old days, but now we have the science to back it. And there's so many scientific research studies done on olive oil, on olive leaf, and all the components of an olive tree now that you can look up anything and actually read these. They're almost so simple and so enlightening that you're thinking, why haven't we been doing this forever? There's actual proof now. So it's so exciting. Every day I get up and I'm like, okay, tell me something new. What's something new I can learn about olive oil? Because there's studies happening over and over and over again. Every day I learn something new. So I would actually tell everyone out there, it is so simple to become an expert on olive oil if you're as obsessed with it as me and Gordon are, which it's a little dangerous, but it's fine, especially when you're trying to teach it. But yeah, the science is there, and it's really exciting.
But the point is, actually, the science doesn't point to the product that's sitting on the shelf at the big box store. The science doesn't point to the olive oil that's sitting at the store at the grocery store. It's pointing only to the product, the type of olive oil that we have here with Aliabo, which is not only difficult to find, I would say it's impossible for the average person to find. Isn't that because what the science is talking about is not that olive oil that you told me should have a skull and crossbones on it at some of the big box stores, okay? That it's this very uniqueness that what we're talking about. So when somebody goes and searches on AI or they do a search out there and it says the benefits of olive oil, they're not talking about the stuff that's on the general, the bazaar, the olive oil bazaar store. Okay, that's not the olive oil they're talking about, right?
Yep, that's 100% right. And it's hard to actually figure it out sometimes because you're reading the back of the label and you're like, oh, this seems fine. But if you dig really deep, the things that I have found on these olive oils that I even thought were okay were not okay. There's this one in particular olive oil that has a dark glass, that is a reputable company, and I'm looking at it and it's positioned as high phenolic olive oil. So I'm looking into it and I'm like, okay, well, is this real? And then it's telling me how many polyphenols it has in it, which was about 400. And I'm like, that's a great amount for culinary. That's huge. That's almost high phenolic. And then I look at the study that's in this has a little tiny asterisk, and it says based on a 2003 study. So they're using all the information they're putting on this olive oil bottle based on a study done in 2003 that they got this amount of polyphenols from this olive tree. And I was like, well, that's crazy.
The 2003 assay is what they were doing? Yeah. Ashley, is that what? Yeah. I didn't hear this before. Oh, my gosh.
It's the olive oil that tastes like jet fuel. You know which one I'm talking about, Gordon.
Oh, my gosh, yes.
But also it tastes like jet fuel, so that should be obvious. So it's probably not great.
So Ashley, this science, this research led you. It didn't lead Gordon and Joe and Curtis and all of them. It led you, our favorite person. It led you, Ashley, to the concept of, gee, this will help with pain, and it's topical, and because it's olive oil, it penetrates deeper, and it's got some real benefits. And that led to what I believe is my not eloquent definition of a door opener called Flex. Tell the listeners just a little tease of what we're going to share in Fresno on what led you to develop that product.
Oh, this is actually one of my favorite stories too. So I was actually listening to a podcast about olive oil. I know that's surprising, olive oil. And someone mentioned this word oleocanthal. And I'm like, oh, this kind of sounds like what we're trying to do. What is oleocanthal? So oleocanthal is a polyphenol found in high phenolic early harvest olive oil. It's pretty rare to get this certain kind of polyphenol. Oleocanthal is the main reason that our Flex product does what it's supposed to do, which is a topical recovery oil. So oleocanthal, there was a study done in 2005 linking this oleocanthal to your COX-1 and COX-2 inhibitors, which inhibit the same things as ibuprofen does. So when you're dealing with pain, when you're dealing with stress and inflammation in joints, that's what this whole study was done on. So when we created Flex, I made sure to find the highest oleocanthal content I could find in any olive oil. And that's why Flex is doing what it's supposed to be doing for people, because of this main polyphenol called oleocanthal. And I seriously, I love that I have the team that I have, because they are open to hearing everything. They're not the kind of people that say, I know everything, you know, you're whatever, you go try your best. No, these guys have my back and let me run with the crazy ideas that I have. So I go into the office and I say, hey, I learned this word oleocanthal. I have an idea. Can I do a test? Can I test this product? And they're like, yeah, sure. So in 24 hours, I was there with a sample, and I'm like, everyone try this. Let's see if it works. Let's see if the idea works. So turns out it worked. And that's how Flex started, which is super fun. I love it.
And you had your own you had a personal pain issue, actually, that weirdly you have and I don't, and I'm a male. But you may want to explain that, because that was the big one. You and Joe both had injuries that you were, I don't know, rehabbing.
Yeah.
So
I'm so glad you brought that up. So Gordon calls me and Joe the king and queen of pain, which honestly is no longer the title I have, which is crazy. But I had a herniated disc, and, you know, everyone kind of does, I feel like. But it was hitting both of my sciatic nerves on my legs, meaning I cannot even lift my arms up. I cannot walk. I cannot lift anything. I make a wrong move, and I'm out. And I was taking like 6 ibuprofens a day just to cope, and I was still in pain. So that's why when I read the study on oleocanthal, I was like, wait, how much olive oil do I need to consume to get the same benefits as that? And it was substantially, I mean, it wasn't possible. So I thought about, how do I localize it? And that's also how Flex came about, because we learned another ingredient in olive oil is called squalane. So squalane mimics your own natural oils in your body, and that's how it's able to deliver in different areas and kind of absorb deeper into your muscles and joints. So altogether, this has been the most fun journey in creating Flex. It's made out of care, it's made out of love, it's made out of just joy also. There's so much fun behind every single product like this.
Well, and Ashley, one of the things when somebody said, well, gee, how come this isn't really available? Because at the early harvest that we're talking about is the fact that they have to send people out and pick these olives one at a time that are the very first early ones that are available in order to be able to produce the olive that high phenolic number, which is really high. But it only happens because it has to be done one at a time. And you guys are early harvest, so that's why this isn't available anyplace else, right?
That's correct. So you know about the trees, how they harvest them, but they do certain things to these trees as well. Is they stress these trees out because they found that the oleocanthal content is higher when they do that. So they bury them in sand. They don't water them as much, and they pick them super early, meaning the yield of the olive oil isn't as high. So you're not going to get as much olive oil when you're picking them early as you would if you waited throughout the year. So that's why this is such a hard to find olive oil that, I mean, you can't get this. Once it sells out, it's out. You can't go back and harvest earlier again. You have to wait till the whole next year to do this. But yeah, it was, I had a few conversations with a few people. They sent out more workers knowing that I needed more of the olive oil, which happens about mid-October, which is so early that they're just as green and as hard as they could possibly be. But yeah,
you know, Ashley, just for the folks that are listening, Ashley has a secret store, Keith, of what she keeps. There is this early harvest, the one that she's a very good saleswoman, by the way, Keith. She has this very early harvest. It almost looks emerald green. It's like bright, vibrant green. It's not culinary. It's actually not that enjoyable to taste from a taste perspective, because it's got that extreme pepper. Imagine arugula times 1,000, and the brightness is vibrant. Matter of fact, Ashley, you might want to bring a little bottle so you can show folks, because the color is astronomical. That's the one that goes into the skincare. By the way, that was all Ashley's. They wouldn't listen to me. I'm a pretty good salesman. But
they would have listened.
Ashley managed to get them to send a crew out early to do this, exactly what Keith's talking about, a very early harvest. And yeah, that's all you, sister. You did that.
Well, thanks.
So as we're listening here to Ashley and Gordon, this is why you want to be in Fresno. This is why these first events, because I'm just giving you the reality of business. I've been in business for myself for a long time, since I was 19 years old, Gordon, the last time I got a W-2. And that was a long time ago. As our friend Ray would say, Gordon, my boy, that was a long time ago. Okay? But as these companies get bigger and bigger, you're not going to have these intimate meetings, even though there's going to be, 50, 60, 70 people at this event, okay? That's still an intimate event compared to where this is going to be. So you're going to want to be in Fresno so that we're able to have these interviews and have these takeaways that are not going to be able to that we know just don't happen after the company has 1 million distributors, Gordon, which we're going to have. So this is a very unique opportunity for people to have this interaction with you and Ashley in Fresno on August the 15th.
Absolutely true, Keith. You've been around those things. And I by the way, folks, I absolutely love this industry. I'll say this, but the only way I can say it is that I love this point, because you get to have these one-on-ones. The company gets a certain point, and it's hard to have a good quality conversation when your gatherings are a couple thousand, 10,000, whatever it is. Those have happened. Hernan knows. It was that first meeting where I met Hernan. It was a pretty good-sized meeting, but it was nothing like what we got that thing up to. Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to it. I hear voices, and I hear like the discussions about. I see voices. I hear. Not like I wake up hearing voices. I hear voices on a call like this, and I'm trying to imagine what the person looks like. And I'm excited to meet some of you in Fresno. But yes, so like in my mind, Dennis looks a certain way, and Janice looks a certain way. Because it's a call, I don't know. It's going to be fun.
Well, it is, and Ashley, it's a pleasure to have you here. It was a pleasure to meet you in Sacramento when we had that impromptu opportunity to meet with a few people there. So once again, August the 15th in Fresno, the Marriott Courtyard. It's on Shaw and 41. If you want to know where it's at, it's Shaw Avenue and Highway 41 in Fresno. We have that event, 10:30, August the 15th. We're going to have a special deal, and I know you got some special things that you guys are going to be talking about and sharing with folks at the time. But the idea is, if you're not there, it's great to come by yourself, and it's great for you to walk in and walk out. But think of the people that you're depriving of that opportunity for themselves to build, that's going to allow them to build their business. Because once again, who do you know that would be really good at this business if they saw it. Get them to Fresno so they're able to meet Gordon, able to meet Ashley one-on-one, so that they can catch the bigger vision of what Aliabo can be. What Aliabo can be with their family that may be in the Philippines or Australia or Japan or South Africa or Italy or Spain or England, okay? Or where are you? I think you're opening you got Norway or Belgium or Sweden or whatever. So you've got this thing that can be there, the idea of what this company can be, what it can be for them. Don't deprive them of this unique opportunity. So the people you care about, you may have to cajole them a little bit. You know, I was telling Gordon when we were talking the other day, you know, I can embarrass anybody out of $60 to try a bottle of Jack's. Okay, I would suggest that you embarrass people if you have to get them to this meeting, because they won't know what they don't know if they're not there to see it, Gordon. That's why we're so excited about you and Ashley coming. And once again, I can embarrass anybody out of $60 to try the Flex, because it's real simple. If you're in pain and you don't try the Flex, you've lost your right to complain if you don't use it. You've just lost your right to complain, Gordon.
Those were the ones I used. I was using them all day, Keith. When you said that, I was dying at my desk. I was like, that is the greatest quote. And Heath is right. It is I'll tell you, Flex, if that's the first thing you've tried, it's an amazing product. But it's just the gateway. There's an entire You're right, Keith. Brother, you are so good. You got a black belt in speaking. That's amazing. Yes, be there, promise. I promise you, folks, we will not let you down.
Well, Ashley, and as with you, I mean, you know, you bring the beauty and the wisdom, and you know, Gordon is talented. That is, you can't put Gordon in a bottle, otherwise we would. But you know, between the two of you coming, it's going to allow everyone to experience an event will never repeat. Right, Ashley? They're never going to repeat that, because you know they're never going to be able to have that kind of interaction again.
Yeah, you get to learn a few things that no one else knows as well. And plus, I don't know how many times Gordon and I will have the same time off and, you know, able to do something like this. So
it's never happened before. It'll never happen again, Keith. It's Fresno. It's going to be a very special meeting. And Keith teased at something, because Keith got something that it was Ashley was making a big announcement in Fresno about something. Oh, let's leave it at that. The last time that happened.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's only for the folks in Fresno get to see it first.
Only the folks in Fresno. So once again, folks, we really appreciate it. I thank you, Joe, for Shufar, for what you did there. I thank you, Janice and Dennis and Matthew, and you know, all of you, Debbie, you know, there, and all the people that are part of this foundation that's building this structure in Fresno that's going to allow us to expand. Janice is out of Las Vegas. Those of you that are not in the area of Fresno, here's a simple thing. Who do you know that lives in California? Okay, 40% of the population in the state of California lives within about a 2.5 or 3 hour drive of Fresno. Okay, everything from you can be from Sacramento or San Francisco to Fresno in about 3 hours. You can be from Los Angeles to Fresno in about 3 hours, 3.5 hours. Who do you know that really, really is serious about making a change in not only their health but their financial future? And how are they ever going to have the feeling of understanding? In order to build a business, you need to know who you're in business with. You need to know that. And you're never going to have a better opportunity than meeting with Gordon and Ashley as part of that team that is the Aliabo leadership and the family that's there. So once again, August the 15th, come and enjoy that. Gordon, thank you so much for being here, my friend. Thank you, Ashley, for so much for being here. And we really, really appreciate both of you. Final thoughts from the two of you, and then we'll let everybody run.
Yeah, Ashley, you can go. You ladies first.
Oh, thanks, Gordon. Okay, so there is a link to sign up so we can see who is coming to the event. Keith, I can send it out to you if you want to share it with your team. It's also been sent in an email from us. It's also available on the website. It looks like the app may or may not be working yet with the link, but there's a bunch of different ways to find it. We love to see if you're coming, how many people you're bringing as well, because that's a huge you know, it's more fun. What is it, Gordon? Bring a buddy. No, be a bringer. I always say bring a buddy because it's more fun, but apparently that's not what BAB stands for. But yes, bring a buddy with you.
It's funny, Ashley writes an acronym because I say be a bringer, and she put BAB, and she turned it into bring a buddy. It actually sounds more fun. Bring a buddy. Absolutely. We won't let the buddy down. I promise you. Bring a buddy. They will have. This sounds weird, folks. You think that a meeting can't be fun and educational and inspirational and motivational. At the same time, like I'm competing with whatever is going on in Fresno on August 15th. It'll be great. And Keith, gratitude, brother. Thank you so much for inviting me to this call. What a great group. Oh, my gosh, you got this group together on Friday. That's fantastic. Joe, Dennis, Denise, Hernan, Matthew, Keith, right, brother, thank you so much. And I will say this. I say it sometimes now. I've gotten in the habit of saying it at the end of calls. We had, all of us had yesterday, and it's 99.9% certain we're all going to see tomorrow. But the only thing we have is today, and it's called the present, a present for a reason. And I'm grateful to you, Keith, for putting this gathering together. I look forward to meeting all of you in person, and probably I usually have a little bit of my presentations, I've been told, is a little edutaining. Sometimes if I get too caffeinated, stupid things come out of my mouth. But I will tell you, it will be fun. And Keith shares the weirdest, also sense of humor that I do. So I'm pretty sure there will be a few laughs during this hour or 2 hours that we spend together on that in Fresno. So Keith, you're the best, brother. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you all for being here. Our special guest next Friday is Ray Herron on next Friday's call. So we do these calls, everybody knows, quite often. But on Fridays, we have special calls every Friday between now and the 15th. And our guest next week is Ray, where you guys are going to get to know Ray, not just about Aliabo, but who Ray is. So Gordon, my boy, we appreciate you, my friend. Ashley, my dear, thank you so much for being here, and we look forward to seeing all of you in Fresno. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Cheers. Bye. Blessings.
Cheers. Peace.